Today I am going to be reviewing a movie that most of you should know about called Star Trek Into the Darkness. Um, what is there to say about it? It was a really, really good movie. Like, I enjoyed the first one, obviously, but I I came into the series really, really late because I never have watched the show, never watched any of the movies up until that point. Everyone was like, "Oh, we gotta go see it," and I was like, "I don't really know anything about it. I like Star Wars." And I mean, after the first one, I was like, this is really good. I'd love to see where they're gonna go with it because obviously they were gonna make a series out of it. I knew that. Everyone knew that. I mean, if you didn't know that, I mean, I'd be surprised. I was really worried to start with because I have a thing about sequels. Sometimes one movie should be left alone. Take for example any Disney movie that has a sequel that was not meant to have a sequel, like Pirates of the Caribbean, and even then, I don't really care for the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels. Take The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid 2 is horrible. Take The Lion King. The Lion King 2 is okay. Some movies are just not meant to have sequels. Spider-Man 1 and 2 were great, and then Spider-Man 3 happened, and all of us, everyone was like... So anyway, I was worried, because sequels usually mean you have to meet the expectation of after the first movie. Once we watch the first movie, we have an expectation of that second movie at least being at the same greatness as the first movie. So, and most of the time, if you have a sequel, they're going to try to do better than the first movie. And sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. So, that being said, after watching it, it was awesome. I mean, no question about it. And I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the first one, which I wasn't really convinced that was how I was going to feel about it. So, I was pleasantly surprised, to say the least. And it was a really great movie. I don't really want to say anything about it because, I mean, I don't want to tell you too much. Zachary Quinto as Spock is always awesome to see. There was another guest appearance by Leonard Nimoy. Chris Pike. He was amazing as Captain Kirk as always. One thing I really love about the series is that, with Captain Kirk, he's the hero, yes, and he has a good heart, but he has his faults. Like, he is very, very cocky and conceited, and most of the time I don't like that in people, but he does it in such a charming way. Take for example, he's cocky and conceited, kind of like the Human Torch was in the Fantastic Four series, and I did not like Chris Evans in the Fantastic Four as the Human Torch. I realize that's how it's supposed to be, but it didn't come off charming as much as it did standoffish to me. And I'm sure other people feel different ways about that, and I need to stick to talking to what I was talking about. With Chris Pike, I feel like he really does justice to what obviously after watching the first movie, I've caught up some and read up on Star Trek, and obviously, so now I have a better idea of how things are supposed to be, so that, because I hang out with a lot of people who know a lot about, Star Trek and Star Wars and any comic book, movie, anything. And I'll probably tell a funny story about one of those experiences later. But anyway, so I tend to read up so that I'm a little more knowledgeable and I can have an intelligent conversation with people, so that they don't feel like they're talking to someone who's only got maybe a little bit of experience in the movie. So that being said, back to not rambling about that and more to the movie review. Benedict Cumberbatch was my favorite thing about this movie, and I can't even tell you why, because it ruins the surprise of the movie if you haven't seen it. So, he was just amazing. Like, I love his voice. He's got this great British accent, and it's really deep. So, it was awesome. Me and the other Megan went to go see Star Trek, and we were both like, wow. He's so cool. Storyline was really, really great. Like I said, I don't want to tell too much about the storyline, but what I can say is there were many parts that were so compelling that you felt so much emotion about what was going on. And like I said, I don't really want to say too much. I will say one thing. There's one scene towards the end of the movie in which other Megan was really upset. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but she was like, no! And I was like, oh, they're going to fix that. I'd already kind of figured out what was going to happen. So, if you're really good at predicting certain scenes in movies, then just keep in mind that when you get to it, you're going to probably figure it out. I'm not going to tell any spoilers. So, as for that, that's pretty much all I've got for right now. If you want any details, or if you'd like to share information after watching the movie, you're more than welcome to comment. Please don't spoil it for anyone else. That's just, I will spam you. You can't. I'll make your comment spam. You can't be. Don't spoil anything for anybody. Well, if it's something that's not really relevant to storyline, that's one thing. But anyway, so don't spoil anything for anybody. But if you'd like to comment and for us to talk about the movie more and get my idea on some things, then we'll do so. Alright, so that's it. Song of the day. And today's song of the day is...
I am a lion and I want to be free. Do you see